Hello, I am Dr. Ray, and what I'm going to talk about is that question we all ask ourselves, especially when we're not acting the best that we like, such as if we have our own children, we see ourselves acting just like our parents did, or we see ourselves in a relationship and getting reactionary towards our partner and communicating in a way that just we just told ourselves a long time ago that we would never do, and then we find ourselves going, oh my God, I am just like my mom, I am just like my dad. So how is it that we end up developing the same characteristic traits or personalities or survival mechanisms, the way that we cope with stressors in our lives like our parents? Keep in mind that the way that we learn mainly is through observation, by watching. Even when we are 6 months old and maybe we're not necessarily conscious of things, we are still unconscious. We are still recording information. So you can be an infant and in your crib and your parents are having an argument and your mother withdraws, and by you witnessing that later on in life, just say if you're a woman, and you could be a man or a woman, it doesn't matter, and you have a relationship with a partner, and every time you feel the conversation getting heated or you feel uncomfortable, you withdraw. You don't end up asserting yourself and trying to find some resolution. You end up basically emulating the same type of behavior that you witnessed that your mother did. Now, I know that we consciously try not to do that, but what's more important to realize is that we actually, the way that we perceive information by watching, when we see that happening, we actually create associations to that, meaning that an argument means withdrawing, an argument means there's going to be no resolution, that we actually start forming neural nets that actually create the representation, the association that we have with those circumstances. Therefore, it's kind of like hardwired. Now, it doesn't mean it cannot be changed. It doesn't mean that we cannot infuse something in that to shift our perceptions. But what I'm trying to explain here is that even if you consciously try not to be like your parents, that there are certain things that you experience on an ongoing basis. You're subjected to maybe your father yelling. That's the way that he expressed himself. So even though you're not maybe in your mind thinking, oh, yelling is not appropriate, or I do not want to be like my father, what your mind again is assembling for you to later on cope with a situation like that in the future is that when I'm upset, this is how I express myself. I'm feeling something in my body, therefore I'm going to express myself. And all of us, when usually we are upset, we're usually not really conscious of it. And just like when you're witnessing it and you're recording that information, same thing. You are unconscious. You're recording that information. So the key way to fix that is first, not be in denial of it, just be aware of these behaviors and characteristic traits, but finding out the root of it so you can eradicate that, and then trying to create new templates. But it's first very important to maybe go into, like for example, you might want to go into the core feelings that your father felt, because it might be just like yours, and that could be healing. It could be that he yells because he doesn't feel as though if he doesn't yell, people won't hear him. So just by recognizing that, and whether you're working with a therapist or you're closing your eyes, you're connecting to the feelings, you might say to yourself that I actually can be heard even if I am not raising my voice. Actually, I know that I can find better ways to communicate what it is I'm trying to say. And if you repeat that on an ongoing basis, you become conscious of it, maybe create affirmations, that you'd be surprised, you actually can create new neural nets to match the experience and the behavioral traits that you would like. So it's not too late.